What's going on with you, man? I ain't even see you there, man. You ain't even gonna say nothing. That's the crazy part about it. You sitting here staring at me and when you ain't gonna. Anyway. So, man, I'm back with that 2-day update. Cause there really wasn't much to talk about the second day. That being said, it's been 2 days. A lot has transpired. For those of you that are friends with me on Facebook, you know what we about to get into, but I'm gonna say that for later. So, 2 days ago. So after the orientation, which was Tuesday, we did. Yeah, after the orientation, which was on Tuesday, we drove right into it on Wednesday. I keep saying 2 days ago and that's yesterday. So we dove right into it yesterday, man. So there was some classroom stuff, but man, we drove, man. They separated us into smaller groups, like groups of 4 with one instructor. We got an instructor. He pulled us into a classroom. Basically, we did like a little. I can't think of what you call that, man. But we just did a little personal show and share. We just talked about introduce ourselves. Icebreakers. That's what they call them. We did a little icebreaker activity. We shared our experience. He wanted to know what brought us into the field and what specifically brought us to Snyder. I won't recap that because you guys should already know my reasoning. Anyway, so we did that and then we went right into the driving after that. So we went out, we did the pre-trip. Pre-trip the trailer. We got in the cab of the truck, which it can comfortably seat 4 people. One, the driver, the passenger, and then 2 people on the bed in the back. Cause they do have beds in them. Not all of them, obviously, but there are the really big trucks, not the trailers, but the actual trucks that are extra big. Oh, what's that shape like? I'm looking at one right now. Can't even think of anything that's really shaped like what it's shaped like, but you know what, let me just aim at it. Yeah, trucks that are shaped like that. Oh crap, man. Yeah, trucks that are shaped like that typically have sleepers, meaning that they have a bed in them. They house beds, among other things, to accommodate the driver on their travels. So we went over the pre-trip inspection, which I paid attention, but you just have to do your own studying to really retain the information. I remember a lot of it because I had to study it so hard before I got my Class B license. So it's essentially the same. The only difference is the attachment of the trailer, because the engine setup is the same as far as the components that you have to identify. So yeah, the only real difference in that pre-trip is the trailer aspect. So just identifying the parts that are necessary on the trailer from the airline setup to talking about what is it? Forgot already, man. I just had the concept. Something along the axle. I can't remember what it is specifically. I'll think of it later. So after that, then he split us up. Took 2 of us on the road. 2 of us he put with another group. Because all 4 of us were not going to fit in there comfortably. Well, no, the 5 of us would not have fit in there comfortably. So he took 2 out at a time. It was me and this other guy, Alex, who went out. He wanted to volunteer. He drove. Now, the instructor did drive first. But when he asked for a volunteer between me and Alex, I volunteered because I was eager to see what I could do, and just really eager to test the similarities between this and trash trucks and all the other crap that I drove before coming this far. And it's pretty much the same. It's pretty much the same, and I figured it would be, because I mean it's a diesel engine vehicle. It relies on air brakes to stop it, so you have to know how to utilize an air brake system in order to drive one of these vehicles. And it's large, you know, so you sit up much higher than somebody. You probably, I don't know, you're probably like 4 feet higher on average, maybe even more than that, than somebody in the average everyday vehicle. So the perspective, so seeing the road from that perspective was normal to me. So I really just wanted to get behind and see what I could do. And I did really well. The only thing that I was curious about as far as the driving was the turning. And that's only because you have to account for the trailer and it's not fixed to the truck. It pivots, which is part of the reason you have to make such wide turns in a truck like that. Not the sole reason, because its length is another aspect, which is why you have to make such a wide turn. But yeah, you have to account for that trailer, so you have to drive deep into the intersection and make your turn very late into the intersection and driving into other lanes, because you need all of that extra room to swing and pivot that the front end of the trailer so that the back end will clear the curb. So I'm doing that no problem, because you have to. The concept is the same when you drive any other commercial vehicle, like a bus or a trash truck or something that's longer than, you know what I'm saying, a typical vehicle. You have to account for those rear tires and making sure that you give yourself enough room in that turn to clear the obstacle, whether it be a median, the sidewalk, light pole, whatever it is. You have to make sure that you give yourself enough room when you're making those turns. Otherwise, you're gonna clip something and you're gonna pull something down. And in a vehicle this large, you will damage something and you won't even feel it. And that I know for a fact, because I've backed into a car in a trash truck and I didn't even feel the car when I made the collision. I was backing really slow, but that being said, a lot of us have backed into somebody else's car in our personal cars and we just ain't said nothing. You know what I'm saying? Whether we damaged it or not. I've done it. I ain't damaged nothing though, but I've done it. You know what I'm saying? But the difference is you feel it in a personal car. You're not gonna feel it in that 9 out of 10 times. You know what I'm saying? If you scrape something stationary, you won't feel it 9 out of 10 times, man. Because the vehicle is so big, it's metal and steel, and you're in the cab. You know what I'm saying? So if you tag something, if you clip something with the trailer, you know what I'm saying, the end of the trailer, you're not gonna feel that. Like you will feel like if you clip the curb, you're gonna know, because it's gonna snag a little bit. You know, the trailer's not gonna come to a stop, but it is gonna snag, and I think you will feel that trailer teeter as it's coming off that curb and hitting the pavement again. But something like a mailbox, maybe even a small light pole, you probably wouldn't even feel that. So I drove for, I think yesterday was 45 minutes. Did, I don't know, maybe 6 right turns. Did them all with no problem. Like 3-4 left turns. Did those with no problem. Just listened to the instruction that my instructor Alejandro was giving me. It was really good advice. And yeah, just did it, man. And after that, I was like, yeah, I'm good. I felt solidified, because I'm like, you know what I'm saying, I already came in with the concept of having this driving down, you know what I'm saying, these huge vehicles. So it's like, I just needed to get behind the wheel and confirm my beliefs. And I'm just like, yeah, I got it. I ain't even got a trip. What I'm concerned with is the backing, because I haven't backed one of these before. Well, not before this week. I did some backing yesterday. Well, I backed once. The instructor coached me through the entire thing, so I haven't attempted it myself without any instruction. I watched, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 different attempts from other drivers backing, and I'm sitting there studying and analyzing how to maneuver that trailer, because that's what you're trying to maneuver. It's not the truck you're really concerned with, it's the trailer, because the trailer is attached to the truck, but the trailer the trailer follows the truck when you're running forward, but you have to, you know what I'm saying, there's a technique to getting the trailer to follow you safely, and there's a technique to backing it safely. Like you can't just back that like you would back your normal vehicle that's one body, because you have a truck and you have a trailer that's attached to it on a pivot point. So it'd be easier if the trailer was fixed to the body of the truck, because then if let's say this is the truck and I want to back perpendicular to this bed, well, if my wheels are straight and I back her and then I cut my wheels to the left to turn so I'm facing this way, it would be just that easy. But the motion of the trailer is not the same because it's on that pivot point hooked up to the 5th wheel. So I would explain it, but I don't really understand the whole concept yet. I honestly would not have even attempted it yesterday if it wasn't for the instructor that was like, just hop in the truck. You're the closest one to the truck, hop in the truck. Because I wanted to watch, because I was still trying to understand the technique needed to do it successfully. So we went out driving today. I was with a different instructor. Now my instructor had everybody from our group from yesterday except me. He told me I was going to be with another instructor, and me and this guy went driving today. And I thought it was strange that I wasn't with the instructor I had yesterday, but everybody else was. So to me that says something. I don't know if well, to be honest, I think it's because two people out of the group I was 2 out of 4 of the people in the group I was placed in yesterday have no experience driving commercial vehicles. Me and Cynthia, who's a lady from Texas, she has experience driving school buses. So me and her both have experience driving large vehicles. But I'm guessing that the reason he had me go out driving with this other instructor first thing in the morning was just, I don't know, I guess just to get some more practice, to I guess see how I did, maybe to see how I did with another instructor, to see if, I don't know, testing my, I don't know what to call it, man, testing my nerve, seeing if the experience from yesterday, you know, would translate to today. So I did well yesterday, so I think that's what it was. So you know what I'm saying, so another instructor could see and gauge my experience level and my comfort behind the wheel. I mean, I was comfortable. You just got to take it slow. I mean, I've been driving large vehicles, but I mean, when I got in there, I was taking it slow. I mean, I wasn't doing five down the street, but I took it slow enough to the point where I'm comfortable doing the speed that I'm doing and checking my mirrors and maintaining my lane. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to become acquainted with the vehicle. So I think that's what today was. They told me today that I'm also going out with the same instructor from today. I cannot think of this man's name, but I'm going out with him tomorrow. And he's bringing along this other driver who we didn't drive with today. We drove with a guy named Taylor today. Tomorrow we're going to be driving with a girl named Casey. and he says the instructor said that we're going to. He said at 7 we hitting the road. He was like, we driving like an hour away from the training facility and the hotels. We're going to be swapping trailers. Oh, he said we're gonna have a load, so I guess we're actually dropping something off somewhere. So, and he did say we would be swapping trailers. So, we'll see I guess we'll see like what a real day looks like when you're driving. Well, it won't be a whole day, but you get the point. So that's tomorrow's itinerary. But getting back to today, so today, when I went out with the instructor and the guy Taylor. Now Taylor has no experience driving a commercial vehicle, which a lot of people don't. So the instructor told us both that he would drive a course, and then I would drive next, and then Taylor would drive next. So he drove the course. He had Taylor sitting next to him because Taylor hadn't been out on the road with anybody yet. He hadn't seen a demonstration of anybody driving. So Taylor sat in passenger, watching him drive. They were, he was answering questions, explaining how to make turns and things like that. And then after he took his lap around the course, then I stepped up and drove. No problem. Did everything I needed to do. After that, Taylor got in the driver's seat. So I'm in the back chilling. I couldn't find a seatbelt back there. Mind you, there's a bed back there. So there is a seatbelt. So the bed compared to where the driver's seats were. Okay, the bed was set up just like this, right? Oh, you step in the cab, driver's seat, passenger seat, bed in between. So I'm back here on the bed. They have there's supposed to be seat belts. There was a seat belt in the truck. In yesterday's truck, it was just attached to the rear wall, and you just strap it around you. So, I mean, it doesn't secure you to the bed, but it stops you from being thrown forward. So, I'm back there chilling on the bed while Taylor is trying his hand at driving. And it was, I just threw my headphones in and started watching Craig Facts, which is my favorite podcast. So I'm not paying attention to anything they saying unless they call my name, unless the instructor called my name or something like that. Because it's time for the instructor to instruct him on how to drive. Like it's not my place to instruct him. If afterwards he wants some tips, I give him some tips. So I'm just letting him do their thing. So he's. I knew somebody's gonna be nervous when they doing something they've never done, like off top, for the most part. So I knew he was gonna be nervous. So I was like, he's gonna hit the brake hard. I was giving him tips about that because we took a break in between me and the instructor driver, and I was just giving him tips on how you become acquainted with the vehicle, and you just have to give yourself time to learn how much to throttle it, how much you need for braking, and just ease onto the brake and things like that. But he's nervous, he's tense, he's gonna brake hard, he's gonna give it more gas than he should. He's sometimes, he's gonna undergas it. So he's doing all of that, and that's what you saw in the two Snapchat videos I put on Facebook, right? Was like the jerking that I was doing, that wasn't me playing. That was me actually reacting to the force from his braking because I had no seatbelt. So that's what I was, and that's why you didn't hear me say anything, because I wasn't trying to draw any attention to myself. I definitely didn't want them to know that I was recording. Oh man, but so I expected, like, to get thrown forward a little bit. But I'm listening to the podcast. I'm chilling. I'm laid back. Next thing I know, I just heard some yelling, and I'm like, why are they yelling? I only got one ear in. I got one bud in this ear. This ear is free. So I'm laid back and watching the show, and I just heard some yelling, and I'm like, man, why are they yelling? So I stop, I look up, and I start listening, and I just hear them going. I never stop hearing them. I just stopped listening. You know how that goes. You can hear when you hear something, but you can't repeat what anybody said because you weren't really listening to them. So I'm hearing them talk, but I'm not listening to them up until the point of when they get louder than what they were already speaking. So apparently, so I got the full story when we went on lunch. So apparently, when we came up on one of the scheduled turns, the instructor told Taylor that, okay, I'm not gonna coach you through this. I'm not gonna coach you through this turn. You have to do this turn by yourself. So Taylor admits he panicked when the instructor said that, and so he reverted to what he's used to doing, which is driving his normal vehicle. So he started cutting the wheel way too soon. Even without the trailer. If we didn't even have a trailer and it was just the bobtail, he probably still would have clipped the sidewalk just based on how the conversation went. So he started turning too soon. The instructor says, no, keep straight. And he yells it again because he was still committing to the turn. He says, keep straight. And so I look up and I'm like, what's going on? So Taylor is like, wait, keep straight. So he turns the wheel back straight. And he's so far into the intersection at this point, he can't even make the turn. So, and the last thing he heard was keep straight. So he keeps straight through the intersection. Mind you, the turn signal, we had the right of way for the right to make a right turn, but every other light was red. So he blew straight through the intersection on a red light. The training instructor freaks out. The training instructor, he damn near passed out when this man went through that intersection, and my eyes lit up because I'm like, what the fuck is going on, man? Like, I'm looking, I'm like, wait a minute, he got the right of way. I'm like, the arrow was green. I'm like, the other lights were red. Why did he go straight through the intersection? I'm like, was he turning? Was he not supposed to turn? I'm like, these dudes were fucked up. So the instructors, oh my God. Oh my God. He is having a meltdown. Taylor, mind you, Taylor has no driving experience. So he's like, what am I supposed to do? He was like, dude, you blew a fucking red light. So I'm in the back like, damn. Like, he cursing like a bug. And it's crazy because I heard some other trainers, other trainees talk about one of the trainers and how they'll cuss you out. And I was like, man, who is that? And the moment he said, you blew a fucking trailer, I was like, oh, this must be the guy. This has got to be the guy. Oh, man. So Taylor was like, I mean, I just need you to tell me what to do. He was like, just keep straight. He was like, man, is there a cop around? Oh, my God. Oh, my God. We should be dead right now. I'm like, whoa, speak for yourself, big fella. I'm supposed to be alive. I ain't supposed to be in nobody's funeral home. So anyway, Taylor's looking for further instruction because he's like, I mean, you want me to pull over? No, man, just keep driving. Just keep driving, the instructor tells him. So the banter back and forth between them was so funny because Taylor admitted to his mistake. He admitted that he didn't understand what was being asked of him. But it was just how they were saying things and how the instructor was reacting that was so funny to me. I'm just like, this is hilarious. Like, the mistake, we all make mistakes. We all make mistakes. I slowly backed into a car the first week after I got out of training while I was working at Waste Connections. We all make mistakes. It wasn't a mistake that was funny. It was the reaction to the mistake that was so hilarious. So the trainer's like, what did he say? The trainer, oh my fucking God. You know, you were so lucky. Like he got quiet for a second because he had to collect himself. So like half a mile down the road, and it was a long road. Half a mile down the road, he collects himself, and he's like, he's telling them calmly but bluntly, you can't do that shit. That will cost you. Do you realize you should be in a hospital right now? You should be in a hospital. So anybody could have T-boned us and it would have been your fault. You gotta understand that. You can't run around. You have to be aware of everything that's going on around you. You can't look. I can't tell you when to turn. Our hand speeds are different. You have to know when to turn. Which I agree with. You do have to know when to turn. And mind you, he had already coached them through the first couple of turns, so you're supposed to be taking notes on that. Man. He what else did he say? Oh, y'all heard it in the video. Oh, fuck me. I was, man. He took me out when he said that, man. I was dead when he said that, man. Like I'm back there looking like I'm holding a cough, cause I don't want no attention. But it was so funny, man. So yeah, I cannot remember the trainer's name, but he was just like, dude, this can't happen again. Like, man, it was funny. The trainer said the light had just turned red, so that's probably why nobody else was in the intersection at that time. And like I told Taylor when it was all said and done with, like, see, he made a comment. He was like, oh, I shouldn't be messing up this bad. And I was like, dude, it's your first time driving. I was like, you gotta relax. I was like, and you gotta let that go. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't have any experience to draw on. Otherwise, you'd be better at this. Like, you panicked because you're inexperienced and because you don't know how much gas to give it. You don't know how really when to commit to the turn. You don't realize that you don't know how to balance the multitasking between giving it the right amount of gas, knowing when to commit to your turn, watching those tandem wheels in the back so they don't clip anything, and staying in this lane, and also getting over to the next lane after you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a whole lot you have to do. So you panic. That's fine. Nobody got hurt. That's the important thing. Somebody could have gotten hurt. So you just got, like, you really have to rely on common sense to a degree when you learning something like this, because you can't lose your cool, because I mean, somebody can get hurt and you are in control of the vehicle that you are piloting. So you have to, you just got to use common sense there, man. Yeah, man, you just got to use common sense. He was able to laugh about it when it was all said and done, so that's cool. So I think he'll be better for it come tomorrow. Personally, I feel like for somebody that has no experience, like, whatsoever, I feel like you should try them out on the parking lot first, because the training facility has a big enough parking lot where he could, him and anybody else could be allowed to drive around the parking lot, make left and right turns until they get comfortable enough with the vehicle to take it onto the street. Because if you take it onto the street, I mean, and he hit somebody, that's you looking at a multi-million-dollar lawsuit versus a couple thousand, depending on the amount of damage the driver does to the equipment on the company parking lot. At least it all stays in-house. if there's an incident on company property. That would be my suggestion, because that's something that I would suggest being in that situation. That's something that I suggested when I was driving the trash truck. Like, I thought it was kind of crazy. Like, our lot wasn't the biggest, but I mean, at least I could have gotten acclimated with like how big the vehicle is, how wide some of the turns need to be, and just getting a good feel for the vehicle on the parking lot before driving it out on the street, because that's a tall task to ask of somebody with no experience, especially when there are real world consequences for any mistake that you make. So that's my take on that. All in all, though, man, it's been a good experience thus far. They keep putting me on the road. Like, I don't know, man. They keep putting me on the road. Like, oh man, Teddy got some skill. He can drive. Let's get him on the road. Hey man, I need to back. That's what I need to be working on. I'm not even worried about driving out there, because I've had, through my experience and the mistakes that I've made while driving, I know better. So I don't need to be coached on like the common sense factor. You know what I'm saying? Where in a situation where like the instructor's telling me to make a turn and the light's turning yellow. Like, if I assess the situation for myself, so if I don't feel safe doing it, I just won't do it, regardless of what anybody else is saying, because he can tell me to make the turn, but if it's not safe to make the turn, I'm the one that's liable, because I'm in control of the vehicle. So backing, man, that's what I need to do, and I'm gonna tell them that tomorrow, man. Hey man, I need to be backing. I need to back that thing up. That's what I need to be doing. But anyway, man, that's all I got for y'all today, man. It ain't nothing else for me to say. That's all I got. Like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Engage, man. I'm gonna get back with y'all. I'm in a hotel room for the next month. I have nothing to do but shoot videos, give y'all content. So give me something else to do. Start a conversation with me. I'm giving y'all this free content. Get at your boy. Talk to me. TP out. I said that so damn slow. Hey man, that's it, man. It's a wrap. I'll holler at y'all next time. Another 2 days or whatever the case is. Peace.